Growth doesn't feel exciting at first. It feels quiet. It feels empty. And sometimes it feels lonely enough to make you wonder if you're doing something wrong. Growth rarely announces itself with applause. It usually arrives as distance. Distance from people you once related to. Distance from conversations that once felt familiar. Distance from versions of yourself that no longer fit. Loneliness during growth is not a sign of failure. It's often the earliest evidence that change is happening. Most people expect growth to feel empowering. They imagine clarity, confidence, motivation, momentum. But before any of that appears, something else happens first: separation. Growth separates before it connects. When you begin evolving, your values shift, your priorities rearrange, your tolerance for certain behaviors quietly disappears. And without trying to, you start stepping out of sync with the people around you, not because they did something wrong, and not because you became better than them, but because you are no longer standing in the same place. Human relationships are built on shared rhythms, shared habits, shared assumptions, shared ways of seeing the world. When those rhythms change, connection feels strained. Suddenly, jokes don't land the same way. Conversations feel repetitive. You feel misunderstood even when people are listening. You start holding back parts of yourself, not out of dishonesty, but out of exhaustion. This is where loneliness enters. Not the dramatic kind, the quiet kind. The kind that shows up in rooms full of people, the kind that makes you feel emotionally out of place. Sociology explains this clearly. As people grow, their social alignment shifts, and alignment always matters more than proximity. You can be surrounded and still feel alone, because loneliness is not about the absence of people, it's about the absence of resonance. Growth creates a temporary gap between who you were and who you're becoming. And during that gap, you don't fully belong to either version. You've outgrown old spaces, but you haven't arrived at new ones yet. That in-between space is uncomfortable, unfamiliar, and deeply quiet. Most people don't talk about this stage because it feels vulnerable, it feels uncertain, it feels like standing on a bridge without seeing the other side clearly. So many people mistake this loneliness for a warning sign. They assume something must be wrong. They assume they're isolating themselves. They assume they should go back to what felt familiar. And some do. They return to old conversations, old habits, old environments. Not because they want to, but because they don't want to feel alone. But familiarity is not the same as alignment. Growth often requires temporary disconnection, not as punishment, but as preparation. When you change, your nervous system changes, your awareness changes, your standards change. And suddenly, certain dynamics feel heavier than they used to. You notice emotion where there used to be ease. And that awareness can feel isolating, but it's also intelligent. Loneliness during growth is often the mind protecting itself from regression. It's your system saying, "This no longer fits." The problem is, society romanticizes connection without talking about compatibility. We're taught to value belonging at all costs, to stay agreeable, to stay accessible, to stay relatable. But growth is rarely relatable in real time. When you choose reflection over distraction, fewer people understand you. When you choose discipline over comfort, fewer people join you. When you choose depth over surface, the crowd thins quickly. That thinning can feel personal, but it's structural. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected. Every meaningful transformation begins with solitude. Not isolation, solitude.